I'm beautiful, I'm powerful, and I got this.
Many people living in Japan grow up surrounded by the same culture and skin of the people around them. That's why it's hard to be conscious of being Asian on a daily basis, or to feel like you can empathize with someone because they have the same skin color. However, people of black descent have often faced discrimination and injustice in various situations throughout the ages, from slavery in the 18th century to the present day, and are hungry for an image in which they can project themselves. Imagination is a tool of resistance. It also connects to Afrofuturism, which depicts the future they want to have, a philosophy that finds hope in a future that no one has envisioned yet. Of course, this also applies to people with personal experiences from many other ethnic groups and countries who have been forced through a tragic history of invasion, domination, and colonization.
Jacolby, Satterwhite, kind of like futuristic, and ちょっと見ようか。こうやって止めようか。My personal thought is that I kind of like see that street art is primarily the expression of the street. So it's not a space within it. So museums and all the kind of like institution, and DJing requires equipment, but breakdancing and rapping and skateboarding and all the other forms of expression can be done with just body. Just your body and your own kind of like imagination and creativity. Also can be said that it's more likely to be connected with the others and collaboration, and so community oriented expression rather than solo expression. Overall, I think it can be said that these kind of like energetic artistic practitioner or expression influenced by hip-hop has been recently emerged because Western art has become somehow saturated. So there is kind of like power balance between it. So in that sense, I kind of like picture it like there's an internal wall, there's a wall, and here inside space. But there is an outside space which is a kind of street, and all these things is kind of like there was a kind of like clear boundary, but now it's blending and deconstructed, and all these voices within it and without it, outside of the Western canon, has been incorporated into very complex, rich expression altogether. So that's how I see it.
For the last 2 years, I've been thinking about the Black Madonna. In some ways, the Madonna project was born because I was in Basel, kind of considering fully what might happen if I were to do an exhibition there. And I knew that there was a really important, very famous Black Madonna in the far north of Switzerland that lots of different kinds of people would go to and pay homage to. I was curious about that Madonna in relationship to my knowledge of the Black Madonna, which came through a kind of Black liberation theology group in Detroit called the Shrine of the Black Madonna. So I quickly kind of made this parallel between the kind of Catholic icon and this Black revolutionary, kind of radical Black religious group. That was the kind of basic cell.
1973年のアメリカの社会実践インスタレーションアーティストでシカゴ大学の視覚芸術学部の教授であるTheasterゲイツの2018年の6月9日から10月の21日までバーゼルの美術館で行われたブラックマドンナというものです。で、こういうものTheasterゲイツってこの人なんですけれど、In Art We Trust という言葉を使ってですね、私たちが信じる芸術っていう名前で解体が予定されている銀行の建物のバスルームから100枚の大理石の板を提示したですね、シカゴの貧しいサウスサイドの都市開発の取り組みから端を発している非常に面白いアーティストです。で今回はですね、このブラックマドンナということで黒い聖母の崇拝を探求して宗教の歴史における重要性、神秘的そして比喩的なものをライブパフォーマンスとかも含めてやってるんじゃないかなと思います。こういう
もの、音響パフォーマンスを使っていろいろやってらっしゃる、パフォーマンスも通じて訴えてるっていうところです。で、要するに黒い聖母のある種のカルト的なところを焦点に当ててバーゼル美術館で展示をしたっていうものです。Theaster Gates、パッと紹介しました。
For so many artists, including Ellen Gallagher, Lorna Simpson, Hank Willis Thomas, myself, we've all pulled from this archive as like America's Black archive.
Also to make it more closer to what I think in a daily life, I think there is a kind of like trickle down cultural penetration model where the supposed to be supreme culture or conceptual form has been brought down by the kind of like enlightenment, which it could be like invasion, cultural invasion or brainwashing in a sense from the above to like to spread to the more like colonized or oppressed people. But now with the help of SNS, the reality of the each person is propagated and conveyed by the social network, by the help of internet. And rather than this kind of like vertical relationship from like top to down influence, it's more like parallel horizontal connection are spreading like ripple as a global phenomenon called hip-hop. That's how I see it. In a sense, I think the idea, for example, like colonialism, westernism, white supremacism, and well, for example, Zionism or whatever, but the concept is not the people. So I'm talking about this because do you happen to know the like MC Abdul? He's like a 15 years old rapper, and I just saw that in SNS and I just thought it was relevant to what this catalog is saying, because from the Bronx there is a boy who is rapping about his current situation. So I put that link towards the end. So this is really game changing because in the past I think we could only learn about the actual situation of the other country through the people or book, or and in the modern time it was through the mass media, for example TV and newspaper and sometimes journalism. Nowadays there is a lot of lies and fake news. So having said that, I think we are entering the era where the street expression that appear the real experience using the life-sized body of yours, having a persuasive power to kind of like transmitting what's going on around it. So I kind of like thought about that. And it's also very family things. These exhibition I mentioned, they are it seems that families are going to that exhibition.
Look at my little brothers real quick, man. When they get older, you know what they gonna be doing? Fucking all these hoes like me.
So grandpa's generation, parents' generation, and the children's generation all together and going to the show and see what your generation is doing. Okay, you've been doing this kind of like things in lately. Or grandpa is doing what was like and that kind of things. So all these kind of like familial museumship viewership is really sustainable and I think it's really promising. The continuity of the music tradition, blues, gospel, jazz and funk and R&B and soul and now hip hop, and they have a continuity of that musical and cultural through the generation, and that is so strong. まあ、ということでですね、今回のカタログで僕はヒップホップについてかなり認識が深まったのですが、いかがだったでしょうか。もう一段階ですね、新しい波が来ているように思ってるんですけど、いろいろいっぺんに喋ると整理がつかない病にかかるのでやめておきます。あとは、まあそういうものが結構面白いんですけど、ということで今回はですね、本当にいつも急遽なんですけど、バルティモア・ミュージアム・オブ・アートで2023年の4月、から6月、本当近々ですね。で、これからずっと3巡回して、2025年の4月までやってるっていうことで、 文化21世紀のヒップホップ&現代美術の展示カタログをサイドコアのストリートカルチャーとのつながりで急遽、リンクするところが多いと思ったので取り上げてみました。いつもありがとうございます。もう本当に暗くなるのが早いので、まあキラッキラになってますけど、Thank you for listening and I hope you find it quite interesting. I really deepen my perception of the understanding of the hip hop and how that kind of like trying to kind of like challenge the art which originated from like West and so how that kind of like intertwined. So this time I think I just kind of use code switching of Japanese and English and a bit rough, but I hope you find it interesting. Thank you very much. Now it's getting dark because it's autumn time, so bye bye. Have a nice winter time 2023. Bye bye.